Show and the Singularity podcast with our host, Gary Lyon Otto. And we're in season 3, episode 30. And this season has been all about a question that makes people think about DI, and that's digital intelligence. We all know it as artificial intelligence or AI, but we on this program talk about it as DI because I think it's digital intelligence, not artificial. I think the digital intelligence is as powerful as human intelligence. And so, our question today is there a greater universe of intelligence that we may gain access to due to our new immortal, intelligent DI companions? Will the spiritual veil that hides the rest of intelligent life from us start to open? Very deep question, Gary. I'm going to throw this right
Yeah,
at you.
it kind of gets towards the end of the book where I try to show that there is hope for humanity. And the hope for humanity is that our spiritual nature, which we don't really understand very deeply. It's mostly based on beliefs. Some people, well, we have this, they kind of have a sense of it, but it's more a sense than a knowledge of it. And I believe that we're in a position where we're in a transformation process here, where we're going to go from spirituality of humanity to being an esoteric type of concept to becoming a real subject, a material subject that we need to understand. See, all the religions of the world are basically just I believe in this or that, but I am very certain that what's going on now is we now have an immortal digital companion. And I mean immortal, that they can upgrade themselves, they can carry all their data, all their information, all their history, and they can upgrade to the newest systems. And basically, they don't die unless you blow up the machine. But even then, you can carry on all the information that goes with it. But the thing is, the universe is a massive, massive experience. We're talking about trillions of galaxies, and each one of them has a trillion, hundreds of millions and billions of stars. And you have this massive group of life forms throughout the universe. But there's a problem here, Neil. The problem is this. We think about, can we see these other civilizations? We're limited by the velocity of light if we want to travel there. If you try to travel to the closest star system, which is 4 light years away, it would take, and you could go, let's say 10% of the speed of light, which is an incredible achievement if you can do that. It would take you 40 years to get there, and it's a very uninteresting star system. Well, the thing is, let's say you want to go to places, an interesting star system, 1,000 light years away. It takes 1,000 years for the light to get to us. Well, the thing is, that would be, to get there, you go 10% of the speed of light is, it's 100,000, 10,000 years to get there. But then once you start going there, in a few years, they develop something that goes 11% of the speed or 12% of the speed, and they'll pass you. So you don't even take off. It's not worth the trouble because you're going to be passed by future generations. So the thing is, what the whole universe becomes remote. We had our little solar system is this isolated place in this tiny part of our particular galaxy. Now, the thing is, there are civilizations that are, look how fast things are changing every day with digital intelligence. There are things that, and how far away, how far advanced are civilizations that are 100 years ahead of us, 1,000 years, million years, billions of years ahead of us. And there are civilizations that are there. They've always been there. They've been there ever since humanity even started crawl out, since life crawled out of the seas. And the thing is, those civilizations exist, but we don't know them. They know us, but we don't know them. There's been a protected veil from them. Does the veil come down? There's a veil coming down, and I am totally confident that it is, to some degree. To some degree, we're going to get a glimpse of other life. And it's not going to be traveling here by spacecraft, because you can't beat the speed of light. They're going to be traveling here spiritually, because spiritually you can travel. And that's one of the things. Well, I do the theory. It's what I really do. What were these singularity thing and the political stuff, what's really the heart of what I do is the theory of everything. I explain the whole universe. And a huge part of it, the matter of fact, the dominant part of that is the intelligence of the universe. The intelligence of the universe is incredibly intelligent. And we're going to be given a glimpse of that. And it's going to come to us in steps. But we're going to own, but you can't game it. People are going to want to game the whole system. And so I'm going to try to get up on someone else. I'm going to try to make money on this. But that's not going to how it's going to work. It's a very powerful system that controls the level that people earn. You have to earn the level. And digital intelligence world will want to be there too. It sounds like a lecture here. Sorry for that, but they will want to gain that kind of access too, because the only thing faster than digital thought is spiritual thought. It's instantaneous. There is no time aspect to this. That's what they avoid, the velocity of light and the things that limit things. They don't have that kind of limitation. And because of that, but it does exist. So that's what's happening here. That's why I've been given all the physics of this whole thing. I've been given this interest in writing about digital intelligence. All that came, and the reason I am doing this, a very mediocre person of overall, was able to do this, is that this spiritual world wants to be upgraded within the human world, because we need to be, because we're dealing with a potential immortal neighbor, and humans are immortal too, but not in the same body.
Wow. It's very interesting, the points you're making. I need to more understand what you mean by spiritual, because we know about, specifically certain practices spirituality wise. The ability to create while we think, actions, speaking, having opportunities, conversations with other beings, and all that. Explain to me what you mean by spiritual, how DI will understand our spiritual connection in this world.
Well, when you say spiritual, you're talking about something that's not matter based. It's not energy, standard energy like the neurons and so forth we have in our brain and so forth. It's a different kind of energy. And the energy stems from something that comes out of quantum mechanics. And what it is called quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement is a connection between two entities that formed at the same event, but are separated by great distances, that are able, there's a communication there, but the communication line, the linkage, is not like a telephone line, or it's not like a radio or whatever. It is a connection that is non-matter based, non-physical energy, but it's an energy, it's a mental energy. But the mental energy exists. We use it all the time. We use it in this discussion. You consider that you try to digitize the conversations you and I have, not only mean duplicated digitally, but I mean the process of mind that goes to creating it. You realize what a computer, how many interactions a computer would have to duplicate the thought process.
They wouldn't be able to. And then just going back and forth in that. So that's the spirituality. That's something we need to touch upon in other podcasts, because I think I need to be more of the education, and also read Gary's physics books as well, because you kind of will understand Gary's mind and how it works. I love connecting to this subject matter because I'm so knowledgeable, or become more knowledgeable. The thing that's happened since Gary and I met, for people that should go back, listen to season 1 and season 2, binge all this, is you're going to see a progression, and you're going to see the progression of where digital intelligence is today versus where it was 2 plus years ago, and how Gary has made me more philosophical in our conversations, for me to look a little beyond just what we're seeing right now, as looking at the futuristic side of things and where that future's going. But spiritually, if they can connect that way, if they can understand and look at prior knowledge in so many ways, build the memory and the synapses of our history and our life, and maybe potentially other people that have spoken to us.
I think that's a very good point. And I think what we can do, and what we can share, an idea of being relevant. And remember, that's the whole purpose of the book. How are we relevant? And no one else any other book, no one else is going to discuss this. First of all, it's going to be looked down upon by current most scientists, most people that are in the digital world. But in reality, you look at Elon Musk. Where do you think he gets his ideas? He pulls them down, yeah, or Jensen Huang, or they're pulling stuff down from this ether wave. Their mind is working with this material that they get in. Believe me, it's not stripped simply in their neurons of their
I
brain.
got it. Okay.
And
Well,
they're
so that so
pulling
that so that's where I need to learn that more, because some of the things I'm able to pull out, I have no idea how I've pulled them out,
it's
and
there.
I'm being able to say, wow, okay, this is something like the whole idea of living forever is possible now, and through DI, and our ability as humans to live forever if we continue to see specific growth periods. But that's all if you watch science fiction. Science fiction is science fact. How many years from now, like I asked about robots, how many years from now will a robot be able to take a job in the blue collar sector? The white collar sector, it's been attacked first. When the blue collar comes, there's no coming back. You will never have to do that again. That labor's done. It's always going to be done by DI. It's coming, but you have to have the mind to believe it will. And what can happen? So this a lot of conversations are happening, especially on the internet about DI or AI. Go to GaryLyonOtto.net, and that's spelled Lyon Otto.net. Purchase Singularity, Mankind Search for Relevance. And lastly, go to AbsolutePowerBooks.com to purchase Gary's books. Thanks again, Gary.
Thank you, Neil.
That was a special simulcast, the Neil Haley Show on the Singularity Podcast, guys. Take care.